So given that we're kind of in a lull with DU and Starbase and updates getting pushed back and all that other fun stuff, I figure let's go ahead and follow up on our turret video and talk about mounted weapons. Hello fellow endos, my name is Rob and welcome to another video in our tutorial series. Today we're talking about mounted weapons and how to get the damn things on your ship and, you know, some other stuff that they don't actually tell you with how these things go together, since there's no like specific guide in the game. So let's get started with the basics, which are right in front of you, I guess. So, there are 4 main weapon types in the game. They are autocannons, laser cannons, plasma cannons, and rail cannons. Each of those categories get a little bit harder and more scarce in materials to build. But with the exception of the rail cannon, which has its own kind of thing going on, each of the other weapons has 3 main parts and 1 shared part. The 3 main parts are the barrel, the structure, and the magazine. The shared part is the mounted weapon body. So whether it's an autocannon or a laser or a plasma cannon, they all share the same concepts, so they just plug into each side. So you can see the laser cannon just snaps in there just like the autocannon does, and you know, are good to go. So that's that. The autocannon has its own body structure because it is a little bit different with how the capacitors and everything else work. So we're not going to talk about that today, but it does follow along in the same style, so you should just be able to follow along with this guide and just swap out the different parts. So in addition to the 3 main parts, we also have a mirrored part for the structure on each of these and a mirror for the body, which we'll show the importance of in just a second. But how do these go together? Well, you just snap them into the body here. So the barrel goes into the front and the structure goes into the back. And the ammo very angrily snaps into there. It gets a little bit hard to line them up. I will say the tip for this is to look at both of them. If you look at the insert here, you can see it kind of has a horseshoe indent, and if you look on the bottom here, it also has a horseshoe. So if you get the horseshoe facing the same way as this horseshoe, then you should be able to get it to snap in there with a little bit of fighting, but since I already got it in position, it just goes in pretty quickly. A little bit of fighting. Okay, so once you have all that done, we're going to talk about the mount. So the mount for just mounting a single turret onto your or single gun onto your ship is the fixed weapon mount 1. And that just goes onto a standard hardpoint like such. Just bloop. And, you know, you can put it sideways, you can put it up, you can put it on the bottom of your ship, whatever you want to do. And then this part just snaps into there like such. So how do you know which way to put it? Well, if you look on the bottom of here, you can see 2 kind of indents, little circular or oblong inserts. And you can see on here that we have the same inserts. So those are the contact pads for the power. Now, it could be a little bit more evident, but, you know, game is still in early stages. The most important thing is on this body, this whole nub piece right here, you want it pointed down. So if you're pointed it the wrong direction, you're probably backwards or sideways or, you know, something or other. So that's how that goes on here. Once we got those on there, we want to go ahead and name our variables. So if we look at this barrel, The one we are looking for, I'll just pull this out a little bit, is weapon mounted fire. So you can shorten this to fire or shoot, but it follows the same as every other thing, just like the mining lasers, how we changed the on and off to, we changed it to laser and then made a button that said laser. Same thing with this. We changed this to whatever, so we could call it fire. And then as long as we name the button fire and keybind it to something, they will fire when the button is pushed, or when the key is pushed that's bound to the button. On the body here, we have another variable called stored heat. Now this will have a maximum of 1,000 heat on a one that's actually connected to a ship. And your stored heat goes up as you start firing it. When it hits 1,000, the weapon either damages itself or shuts down. So you might want to change this to just heat, and then on your control panel, put a little display for heat. And then on the back here, we have our stored autocannon ammo and max autocannon ammo. The ammo and autocannon is 500, so we could change this to just ammo. And then again, put a display down to have a ammo readout out of 500. Or, you know, more if you have more weapons. What is going on there? Delete that. So, you know, the variables match the variables on whatever you want to put on your display panel, right? Now, if we want to do 2 weapons onto one mount, we're going to go ahead and use the thinger here, which is not actually lined up correctly. I think these bodies are backwards. So we're going to use the fixed weapon mount 2. And in the title, fixed weapon mount 2, it holds 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and swap these just turn these bodies around or flip them upside down, right? Not that way. That way. There we go. Let's put that there, and then take that one. Put that there. There we go. And then it should line up now. Yep, there we go. So as with the other things, you can see on this unit right here, we have our little sockets on the arms, right? Little oblong socket like that, right? And on the bottoms here, we have the same indentations, so we just want to make sure that those line up correctly with the sides here and connect. And then everything should be good to go, right? That's all hooked up and is bueno. So that's how that works with the 2 of them. And we talked about the mirrored, right? So we can see that this is the mounted weapon body mirror. Obviously, we couldn't put 2 of these, otherwise one would have to be upside down in order to get it in the same orientation to be hooked up on the mount. Same with the back here. We have one of these is a autocannon structure mirror, so that both of the ammo canisters are pointed up. Because if we just duplicated this one, then we'd have one pointed up and one pointed down. So we use the mirrors to get them to be in the same orientation. Right? Right. All right, moving on. We get the 2 different turret bodies. We have the regular turret body, and we have the advanced turret body. The turret body cradle advanced, or whatever thingy-majig is called. And they both go on the large turret bases. They're just called turret bases, as opposed to the other one, which is the small turret base, and then those connect together. If you need to go back and reference my video on turrets, onto how to like name these for pitch and rotation, you can go ahead and do that. So the just regular turret body, which is just called the turret cradle, functions the same as this double one here does, right? So we can just take all these things here, and we can just drag this over and plop it in there. Whoop. Like such. Get in there, biatch. Alright, sometimes I found it easier to actually drag the turret to the, there we go, to the body instead of the body to the turret, and then just grab everything and move it into place. But that is how that goes on there. So that would be a single turret. Now this would be controlled by the pilot, or, you know, co-pilot, or somebody back by the pilot, but is not controllable from the actual turret, unlike the advanced. So you can see we dropped a chair in the middle here, and we could do the same thing that we did over here. So let me Control Z. Bloop, 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 bloop. All right. So I'm going to grab this whole thing this time. And let's grab this and... Nope, not that direction. I think it's Z. Yep. And this just snaps on like that. So these contact together and act like the hard points, right? Even though they don't have the correct decals or anything on here. That is what these are for. So we can go on the other side here and kind of do the same thing. There we go. And again, you could do this with any weapons, not just the autocannons. And, damn it, I didn't duplicate it. And we'll just get this to, come on, man, come on. There we go. Come on, man. Why you do like that? And again, you would just label them all as fire or whatever if you wanted to divide them up into fire groups or whatever, and then do some fancy YOLO code or whatever you could. So now the way that this is set up, this chair will control the whole turret, and you could have a turret gunner on your ship, and you could have all the readouts for the gunner on here, you know, as well as by the pilot too. If the pilot wanted to monitor, you just have to snap them on there, as we usually do with the control panel. So we would get a hybrid button here and snap that on there. Maybe not. There we go. And then you would need you would, now I know it's on my mind, you would need two blah 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 middle levers, right? You can put them on here, you can put them on the arms of the chair, you could do whatever you want. And one would be turret pitch and the other would be turret rotation, and you would just label them as such, right? And make sure that the variables are the same on the base and the arms and all that shit, right? We went over that in the turret tutorial, so go check that out again if you need to reference that again. And then we could put like 2 progress bars on here, you know, one here that says p-value. We could put one on here that says ammo, so we would do that, right? And then out of 500 for the ammo, and then this one would be like heat out of 1,000. And then now you have 2 displays that can tell you how much ammo you have left and how much heat you're generating as you're firing your weapons, and tracking those enemy fighters, you know, doing your damage and all that stuff. So that's how that goes. And then, as always, you could use any of the hard points, but I prefer to use the large hard points on these because they just line up so nicely that you can actually tell that the thing is sitting on top of it. Whereas some of the other ones, you can accidentally line up a little bit off and then it won't work with the smaller ones. So on the larger turrets, I like to use the large hard points, but either of them will work. And then you don't need any hard points on here. You just slap the things together and they kind of just do their thing. Same with the chair, right? You just need to do the wiring down here and everything else is good. So that is the whole of that. and you would name the button fire and make sure all these were named fire or shoot or whatever you want to call your variable that makes the weapons go off. Also remember that the weapons do use power, so you want to make sure that your ship has plenty of batteries and other stuff, because even though this thing is using ammo, it's also using your power, so you can drain your batteries out and then not be able to fire or maneuver if you have too many weapons and not enough batteries. But we can probably get into that in another video where we talk about building a fighter or something like that. Anyway, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. It really does help small content creators get noticed with the algorithm. I don't know if the algorithm likes being talked about or not, but, that's how it works. And if you have any suggestions on future videos, don't forget to drop a line, comment in our community section. Whatever you want to do, comment in this video. I usually take a look at everybody's comments as they leave them and try to get back to y'all in a timely manner. If you got any questions about turrets or mounted weapons and all that jazz, let me know. And yeah, I will do what I can. So until next time, I'll see you out here in space. Stay safe, my friends.